On this episode of BOBscaping, we're going to be shaping a boxwood with some hand shears. Here we have a set of Sandvik-Pradines hand shears that we're going to be using. Now before you start, the important thing to do is make sure your equipment is sharp. These are the type of blades that you really just want to sharpen on the beveled edge, not on the flat edge. So these have been sharpened. They've been cleaned. You can use a putty knife to scrape off any debris. And we also sprayed them with some WD-40 to finish the cleaning and aid in their smooth operation. So when you use hand shears on a shrub, you want to keep the tips up. That's one of the secrets. And of course you want to shear at the proper depth, not too deep, not too shallow. Sometimes on Japanese yews or taxus, you trim off all the light colored growth, which would be the new growth, trim it back to the darker colored foliage. So here we are moving along on the top. I tend to prefer shaping shrubs in a gumdrop sort of a shape. In other words, rounded top, straight sides. You always want to make sure the lower branches on a shrub are at least as long as the top ones so that sunlight can reach them. Another thing we've done on this shrub trimming project is we've put down some tarps. These are pieces of old leaf tarps that have been cut up, and we've spread them out around to gather the clippings. It takes a little more time to lay them out before you get started, but at the same time it speeds up your cleanup. Also, if you're working around ornamental stone, it makes it much easier. It's not that hard to get clippings out of mulch, but it is hard to get them out of stone, especially smaller ornamental stone. So now we're working around the sides. It really helps to have good sharp tools. You not only get a cleaner cut, but it also makes your trimmers cut better, more easily. Trimmers should also be adjusted so that they don't bind. They have to be tight enough to cut, but not so tight that they let foliage get between them and get bound up. So here we are moving along, trimming this. This is a winter gem boxwood. Very nice shrub. It's got the glossy foliage, which some of the other boxwoods do not have. And it also does not have that strong boxwood odor that some people object to. So now we're going to work around the back, coming down along here. Keeping the tips up slightly so you don't gouge into the shrub. Looks like our tarps are catching most of the clippings. Notice this shrub doesn't grow quite as thick on the back edge here against this shed wall because it doesn't get quite as much sunlight, so we won't trim it quite as hard as we do the rest of the shrub. Okay, coming around this side, we're just about done. Just getting the last little stragglers on the bottom. Dust off some clippings and dead leaves. check for any branches that have popped up since we dusted the shrub off. Just go give it the once over lightly one more time. Checking for any stragglers, bulges, anything out of shape. And there we have it. A couple little, might need a little more touch up here on top. But overall we're looking good. So then on cleanup, all you have to do is pick up these tarps, pull them in, fold them up, carry them away, and most of your cleanup is done for you. For this episode of BOBscaping, this is Bob.